and welcome into my new office. Well, my wife calls it the place where I can go to get out of her way. My videos won't be this Packers orientated. I know the first one I was wearing a Packers jersey. I like the Packers, get over it. But this is something that needs to be discussed. The Jordan Love being drafted. Today is the 23rd of May, so I think it's a month since that happened. So we're going to give my reactions, immediate reaction to it, and now after a month looking back on it and what I think is going to happen going forward. So the immediate reaction to it was obviously not the best from the majority of Packers fans. It was the trading up, I think, is what really sparked it for most fans. That going from 30 and giving up a fourth to move up to 26 to take Jordan Love, that's why it's a lot different to when the Packers took Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers was a talent that fell to them, whereas this was Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur going up to get their guy. This sent Twitter into a frenzy of Aaron Rodgers going to be traded and Jordan Love will be the new quarterback. But I think we know straight away that that's not going to happen straight away, because Rodgers' contract dictates that he won't be traded for at least a couple of years. And it wouldn't make much sense to start Jordan Love now, with Jordan Love being a developmental project for the foreseeable future at the minute anyway, given his traits as a quarterback. I think the negative reaction to the pick as well was compounded by the second and third round picks of AJ Dillon and Josiah DeGuara, being drafted a little bit higher than what most had them going. And I don't think, after you looked at the Packers draft after 2 days, there was many positives that people really seen. It's been a month now since the NFL draft, and I'm feeling a lot more positive about it. I think we've all slept on it, and now I have a more thought out approach on the picks. So the first thing with the picks is, I believe if a wide receiver was taken at 26, if you move each player down after that, and obviously had the fourth pick which you gave away, I don't think the draft is that bad of a draft. If you move Jordan Love to 62, you move AJ Dillon down, and you move Josiah DeGuara into the fourth round, you then have a draft. Say we did draft a wide receiver or a linebacker as was expected in the first round, you'd have had Jordan Love as a good developmental project in the second round, a running back who, with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams up for a contract, who could come in and contribute maybe next season, but in future seasons definitely, and Josiah DeGuara, who looks, a lot of people are saying, like a fullback more, but he's another weapon that could cause mismatches on offense. I think the rest of the draft after that was pretty positive. I like the pick of Kamal Martin. I thought that was a good pick. I think at the minute he's probably not a starter, but he could compete. I mean, Oren Burks hasn't really stepped out into the role we all thought, largely due to injuries in both off seasons. Ty Summers we got last season in the 7th round, but Kamal Martin's got as good a chance as any to make that middle linebacker 2 role his, alongside Christian Kirksey. What really a lot of people were stumped at is going offensive line 3 times in the 6th round. But again, this is all about evaluation. If Gutekunst seen that those offensive linemen were good value in the 6th round, you always need offensive linemen. Like, you take 9, maybe 10 into a season, 5 guys start, you got 4 or 5 backups. I think with Corey Linsley coming to the end of his contract at the end of the season, I think you could see those guys trying to make a run at the centre position in future, or moving Elton Jenkins over to centre and getting one of them guys to play left guard. Also right guard, Billy Turner. He's had some inconsistent play last year. I did think he was better than some thought, but there is an option for the Packers to move on from him if he wasn't to make a long-term fit there. As well as at right tackle, Ricky Wagner. You could always kick Billy Turner out to right tackle if Rick Wagner was just a 1 year, 2 year sort of deal. So regarding all the Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers sort of debacle going forward, I think the worst case scenario is the Packers have truly pissed off Aaron Rodgers, and in 2 years' time he looks to get out. I don't think it will be before that. I think he knows in himself, in his contract, it's not going to be before then. But he walks away, he goes to another team, he plays really well, and Jordan Love comes in, hasn't really progressed to how the Packers want, and doesn't take over as the starting QB, and we're looking at somebody to come and replace him within a couple of years or so. If you look at it, best case scenario for the Packers, I think, is that you play Aaron Rodgers until you see the regression. They switch out. Jordan Love is developed behind Aaron Rodgers like Aaron Rodgers did to Brett Favre. And yet again, 15 years on or so, we make the switch. It goes and Jordan Love becomes what a lot of people think he's got the talent to become. And he's definitely got some traits that the Packers fans need to be positive and also give him a chance when he's playing in the preseason game. He's going to make mistakes, but he's going to throw the ball. He's going to make plays. And if he does have to come in for Rodgers, I do feel a lot better about Jordan Love being there than Tim Boyle. I think Tim Boyle is he's a good young quarterback, but I don't think he's a NFL starter by any means, but he's more of a game manager. Whereas Jordan Love has got a bit of Aaron Rodgers in him. He's going to make big plays. He's got the arm. And if he's given that time to develop, and once, as expected, Rodgers does move on in a few years' time, and Jordan Love gets the reins, it could be that the Packers go franchise quarterback in Brett Favre, franchise quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, franchise quarterback in Jordan Love, which every other team in the NFL will be looking for. The New England Patriots have done it for 20 years with Tom Brady. They are now under pressure to go again. Is it going to be Jarrett Stidham? Are they tanking for Trevor? But that transition of quarterback is the hardest thing to do in the NFL. We've seen it with the Chicago Bears. Right now with Mitch Trubisky, they're looking at Nick Foles. These are not superstar quarterbacks by any means at Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre's level. If the Packers could pull that off again, in a best case scenario, this could be the blueprint going forward for every team. Another thing I think that isn't being discussed enough, it just seems to be that a lot of people are now thinking, well, this is what's going to happen. Rodgers is going to spend 2, possibly 3 years. The Packers are going to move on. Jordan Love's going to take over and we'll take it from there. But what can't be ruled out is that Aaron Rodgers outlasts Jordan Love. This is obviously going to give Aaron Rodgers a chip on the shoulder, and over the next coming years, you'd hope he can go back to the form he was in 2014, anywhere between 2010 to 2016. And if he gets back to that level, it's going to be a long road for Aaron Rodgers to come down from that pit. He's a very good quarterback, and he's had a couple injuries over the last few years, obviously with the collarbone against the Minnesota Vikings, and then knee injury hampered him a couple seasons ago after the week 1 injury against the Bears. But an angry Aaron Rodgers is, I believe, the best Aaron Rodgers. I think last season he was welcoming to LaFleur. I think they got on well. I think a lot of people outside of Green Bay tried to make it out that it was going to be a bad thing. However, I think them together it worked well, and I think he was welcoming. But I think now they've given him a chip on his shoulder. This is where we could see Aaron Rodgers really come back to playing some of his best football. And if he gets back to that level, then it could be that we stay with Aaron Rodgers. He carries on to play at that level for a few years to come. Tom Brady now going into, 43, 44, 45, but he's continuing on. Drew Brees is a lot older than Aaron Rodgers as well. I mean, there's nothing to say that Rodgers can't go on and outlast Jordan Love, as we've seen in New England with Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo was clearly Bill Belichick's guy. He wanted him to take over. Robert Kraft stepped in, from what people say, and lent towards Tom Brady, leaving Jimmy to be traded. It could be that Love sticks around and tries to wait out Rodgers, but Rodgers continues to play at a level where the Packers can't move on from that. And in that case, gives the Packers a trade option with Jordan Love to maybe try and get him another spot somewhere else. Anyway, tell me what you think. Do you think that Rodgers will want to move on in 2 years, or before that maybe? Or do you think Love is a bad pick still after a month? Or what is the reaction from the initial reaction you first had to the pick? You may also notice I'm wearing a UK and Ireland Packers t-shirt here. They're a Packers supporters group here in the UK. I recommend that for anybody, American, English, anywhere. They've got worldwide fans. Good lads over there at the UK Packers. Anyway, remember to comment, like, share and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. I'll put that in the description at the bottom. Thanks for watching.